Hello Cancer, great to have you here. My name is Shauna. Today's reading is a general love forecast for November 2025. As always, take the messages that resonate and release anything that doesn't. Don't forget to like and subscribe to stay connected with upcoming readings. Let's see what's headed your way, Cancer.
Last shuffle in. Okay. So I believe this one came up first. I have the Page of Pentacles reversed, the Magician reversed, Page of Swords upright, Queen of Pentacles, Seven of Pentacles, Six of Cups, the High Priestess, King of Swords, the Wheel of Fortune, and the Justice in the reverse position. Okay, so normally, the sword energy is an air sign, and what I'm sensing in this situation is because it is coming in very as like the central theme of this spread. I do feel that like Page of Swords and King of Swords too are it's like in the same suit, so I can read it as people in the same family, but at the same time I do feel that it can be read as a water sign that is also very emotionally blocked. Okay, so what I'm sensing is this. I'm reading the Page of Swords as you. And in this situation, what I do sense is there might be family arguments. There might be like falling outs between people in your family. You and another person, potentially. You and a father figure is what I'm sensing. It's very strongly here. And so this is what I'm looking at first here. This is you. This is potentially a father figure, somebody who has a lot of sway, a lot of somebody who can be very business savvy, but at the same time, they do exert a great deal of influence on your life. They do put a lot of pressure on you to excel, to outperform, and things like that, okay, is what I'm sensing. And at the heart of it is we have these two women images, okay? The High Priestess can also be read as a like a mistress. In this situation, it also deals with like religious differences. It could also deal with spirituality and even differences in your religious spiritual beliefs, okay? It could also deal with a mistress. And what I'm sensing is if this is a father figure, this could also be a mother figure. So it's problematic because there are two women involved, okay? So I'm sensing for some of you who are going through this, you might be like a younger person, like in your 20s, 30s, or even in your 40s. If you have fathers who are still alive, if you have parents who are still alive, and there is this situation that you find yourself in. And what I'm sensing here is you want to come to the defense, but you are still a page energy. This is still a very young, immature energy. And I don't mean like emotional immaturity, but I do feel that you don't have the power to come to resolve this situation. You don't have the power to overcome that father figure. And a lot of you too, you don't have the power to fight, okay? So if we were looking at like, instead of the Page of Swords, the next step would be the Knight of Swords. And the Knight of Swords is a very impulsive figure, but he or she is armed to like, and has the proper training and the skills to mitigate problems and to resolve conflict and to defend somebody else's honor, okay? As a page energy, you don't have that power at your disposal. You don't have the knowledge to fight, and you don't have like the right protection to engage in conflict with the other person. I hope that makes sense to you. And then, at the same time, this is the King of Swords. In the reverse position, this is somebody who has everything at his disposal, but he's choosing, he or she as well, is choosing to he or she is not choosing the high road, okay? It's basically it. they might be very intelligent, and they use their intelligence to like put others down, for example. They could also like use their ability to persuade to be like very charismatic, and they could use that to like attract people to them, to get like things that they want, rather than to attract than to help people or to persuade people on the right course of action. So for those of you who are not dealing with this situation in a family context, I do feel that you might have to deal with like an air sign, an older energy, like an older air sign. It could be male or female. And this air sign is just, a little, it's very intelligent, very eloquent with their speech, but they might be a little manipulative, and they might be very self-serving. So I want you to be careful with this energy. If they are in your midst, like in a work capacity, in a interpersonal relationship, or in a romantic relationship, if they're in that capacity with you, I just want you to be very aware that they're not really working towards the greater good of this relationship. They're more self-interested, so be careful with that energy, okay? And at the same time, I do feel that time and time again, you are like, you feel that this person is not being fair, or they're not fighting fair, but then you don't have a way to like get yourself heard. You don't have a way to defend yourself against this person. So it's like an ongoing issue, it's an ongoing problem. I do feel that within the first 2 months, though, you're going to be able to proceed in a better way, or you're going to find like coping mechanisms in order for you to approach this situation and have it play out to your benefit, okay? So what I'm sensing is, the Wheel of Fortune does deal with timing, okay? It is a huge card of like karmic debt, but also timing. Justice as well is indicative of karmic debt. And what I do feel is like this is a cyclical situation. It's been revolving, and you're doing the same thing, and you might like be very strategic as well, but again, as a page energy, you're not really fully aware of how manipulative this person can be, okay? So for example, the first run around, you're taking a very high-minded approach. You realize that didn't work because this person is like very self-interested, so they're not going to open up. And then the second time around, you're taking the low road, and then this person is like outmaneuvering you because they're just that good, okay? And then the third time around, you're trying to like to come in like on a middle path. And, that didn't work. And then you might have also like tried to ignore it, try to like weed them out of your life completely, but they keep coming back. So then you're out of options. At this point, I do feel that you can't outmaneuver them. They're always like one step ahead, or they're so like quick-witted, and they're so eloquent that they always like argue back. And I do feel like this person, despite being an older energy, they're very petty. So you really don't know how to outwit this person, okay? It's like a game here. And I don't feel that the energy is completely malicious, but I do feel that you are really trying to outwit this person, and you don't have all the skills, and you don't have the proper training in order to do that, okay? So one other thing I do see with this card is, it is indicative of your intuition, okay? So timing is going to be everything, and I do feel that there is an opportunity coming in the first 2 weeks for you to do that, okay? For you to expose this person, if that's what you're hoping for you to like get others to your point of view in order to like figure out a way to outmaneuver this person. So I do feel that is going to happen for you. You're going to be happy that you were able to do that. But I want you to really understand like the way this energy is playing out for this month, okay? The opportunity is there. The skill set will be offered to you in order to do this. But I also want you to know like why you really want to do it, okay? Is it like a battle of, wits to see who's smarter, who's more competent? Or is this person doing something innately wrong that you want to expose him or he or she, like for their wrongdoing? So what is the agenda? What is the end purpose for you? Why do you want to expose them and what you're getting out of it, okay? So I do feel that it might be like an ego game on your end and from their end, obviously, but I do feel that it is more from your end. So if you're doing this, if you're stuck in this situation, you don't even have to engage in it, okay? So use this energy for something else. Use this for like something a little more positive rather than keep, like allowing this person to affect how you feel about yourself just because you cannot outwit them, okay? So don't let their opinion of you dictate your self-worth, is what I'm saying. Use this energy for something a little more conducive to longevity, I guess, and don't let this person affect you. Okay, so aside from that, I do feel like, just in your past, there are situations that are definitely beyond your control. You feel like kind of propelled forward without the proper training, without the proper arsenal, without full information, full knowledge, okay? So, and I feel as a result, you've proven yourself over and over again that you are more than capable. So I know that with cancers in general, you are very, very capable. Wherever people plant you or wherever they plop you down, you have the ability to survive. So survival instincts and your intuition will serve you very well, especially throughout your life, but more so for this month, in order to move forward, in order to truly figure out what is the best course of action for yourself. Rely on your intuition, and whatever you decide to do, make the most of it, because you have tremendous manifestation abilities. You can make the best out of the most dire situation, okay? So in the past, you've had to do that. You've just had to make do with very little at your disposal, very little resources, very little information. And because of it, you are gaining in you are going through this training process where apprenticeship, where you're emerging from being a page to a knight, okay? So in the process though, I would warn those of you who are going through extensive training, don't lose track of yourself. Don't lose track of your goals. Don't forget where you come from. Okay, so if you are initially in this project, for example, to help people, don't lose track of it, okay? Don't let money get you sidetracked. Don't let prestige, don't let other people persuade you, or I feel that money might be in the picture and you might lose track of your initial ideals, okay? So just be very careful about that situation, okay? So, keep yourself grounded. Don't forget your initial purpose for getting involved in certain situations, and don't let money be a motivation for you to compromise your integrity and your beliefs, okay? So that's one danger that I really want to emphasize here. That's the only thing that I'm seeing for this spread. Aside from that, everything else looks good, okay? You have one of the best cards in the deck. This is the Wheel of Fortune, and despite all the other minor energy, and I do feel we have, let's see, 1, 2, 4, we have 4 major arcana cards, so this is going to be a very important month. And I do want to emphasize that don't lose track of your purpose in life. Don't compromise your integrity, your values for quick financial gains. I feel that a lot of you are grappling with this ethical dilemma, so please don't do that, because you're not going to be happy long term, okay? A lot of you have a very kind heart, and in a few years from now, you're going to look back at this situation and it might eat at you, so it might cause a little bit of emotional turmoil down the line. Not a little bit, I do feel that it is basically this is a turning point in your life, okay? So the Wheel of Fortune is in the upright position. You're going through a phase in which you get to decide the course of action that you want to take. So whatever you decide now is going to have a big impact on the rest of your life. So really try to make the right decisions, the right choices moving forward. Don't compromise the things that you value, the things that you believe in, and your sense of, I guess, faith in the world, okay? So despite everything else that you've had to contend with in the past, in situations where you're not paid a lot, where you did a lot of work and you don't feel that it was fair, in general. And moving forward, you're taking this you've internalized a lot of those negative traits, and you feel that, the world is going to be like that. Things are never going to be fair for yourself or for other people. So you might as well, succumb to the financial gains that you would get if you were to pursue like the low road, which is not the right way to go, because it will eat at you in the long run, and you're too good for that. So don't get sucked in by that energy. Okay. I just want to emphasize as well, moving forward, you have a lot of abundance. Things are not fair. So those of you who are in the social justice types of field, you're going to feel this, and you're going to be like hit in the face. So a lot of you might be contemplating like a career move. If you're thinking about doing that, this is actually a very good month for you to really take the initiative and do some research in that area, and change your career if you feel that's where you want to go. Because what I'm sensing here is, if you stay in this situation for too long, your sense of like like social justice, your sense of fairness, your sense of what's right and wrong, like your sense of morality and ethics and things like that might be like I guess like compromised based on the environment that you're currently in. Okay, so be really careful about not letting other people influence your life, and like don't compromise yourself for quick financial gains. I can't emphasize that enough. Okay, so just be very careful with that energy. So aside from that, let's look at people who are dating. Okay, so for those who are in stable relationships, I do feel that there might be temptations especially for Cancer men, because like I said, the High Priestess does deal with another woman in the picture, okay? And I do see the Queen of Pentacles and the High Priestess. So for those who are like in relationships especially, and you're thinking, you're kind of like tempted, again, like I said, you're going to hit like an ethical dilemma this month. So make sure you do the right thing, all right? For those who are in relationships with an earth sign, male or females, I do see that the earth sign is going to be there for you in the long run, okay? So don't compromise that relationship. And if it's a friendship, I do feel that for this month, things will pick up, and you might like take it to the next level, okay? So you might start dating. And this earth sign is very, very sincere. So don't, betray their trust, because I do feel that they have the potential to be in your life in the long run. For those who are single and are not dating, I do sense that if you're like looking for people to date, really try to date people who are in your same age bracket or a little bit older, because the young people in your life can be a little problematic. If you are dealing with a young air sign though, I do feel that it's best if you try to keep this person as your friend, because it seems like they're not really ready to open their heart yet. They've, like, an air sign is a Gemini, an Aquarius, and a Libra. There might be like a lot of intellectual rapport, a lot of like chemistry between the two of you. However, the air sign is not completely ready to date, because he or she has gone through like a very crappy love, in the past like few months they've had to deal with that, and they're not completely recovered. So I don't feel that they're going to use you as a rebound. I don't feel that way, but you might inadvertently end up in that position. And, and then you lose the friendship because, you're hurt. So just be very careful about that. With the younger, especially the younger air signs, people who are your age or a little bit younger as an air sign, they might inadvertently, like, hurt you, okay? So just be careful. Yeah, so aside from that, for those who are single and looking, I do feel that, in general, really try to take this month and work on building up your financial base, okay? I do feel that it looks very promising. I just want you to, like, be